night has a different kind of wisdom than the day. It doesn't flatter, doesn't pretend, doesn't turn away. It shows you what the hours pile behind the busy light, all the questions that you hustle to avoid in daylight's bright. I've sat with all my doubts here in the late and quiet hours, more honest than a morning and more patient than the flowers. The night says, look at this, look here, don't rush the looking through. And what I found in darkness made me kinder to the truth. What the night knows, I am learning to. How to hold the complicated without breaking into. The night is not the enemy of all the light you need. What the night knows is a teaching, and I'm starting now to read. I used to fear the stillness when the last lamp went to sleep, when the silence wrapped around me and the hours grew too deep. But I came to find the silence held no malice, held no threat, just a mirror in the darkness of the things I can't forget. And I've forgiven some of them in these late night quiet hours, the grudges and the wishes and the complicated powers. Because the night knows patience in a way the day does not. And what I couldn't soften in the sun, the night untied the knot. What the night knows, I am learning to. How to hold the complicated without breaking into. The night is not the enemy of all the light you need. What the night knows is a teaching, and I'm starting now to read. The night has held the weeping, the night has held the prayer, the night has done its keeping of everything we dare. What the night knows, I am learning still. How to trade the forcing for the yielding of the will to something deeper than the frantic light of day. What the night knows gently guides me on my way. And when the morning comes, I'll carry what the night bestowed, the quiet understanding of the slow and winding road. What the night knows lives inside me past the dawn, and I'll be wiser than I was before the night was gone. in the late afternoon, that smell of lavender. When the light gets long and golden and the world turns tender. When the dust motes float like wishes in the amber beam, and everything gets softer than it's possible to seem. I've been saving up these lavender hours for a reason. They're the ones that hold the thread through every season. The cup of tea, the open book, the cat beside the sill. These quiet golden moments make the rest worthwhile. Lavender hours, soft and gold, the kind of beauty that I'm only learning to behold. Not the fireworks, not the grand, just this, just here. Lavender hours turn the ordinary into something dear. My grandmother would say, the small things are the real things, love. That joy lives in the details, not the events above. And I've been practicing her wisdom in the last few years, finding gold inside the moments that don't rate a single cheer. The smell of bread, the rattle of the rain against the door, the hum of a familiar song I've loved 1,000 times before. These lavender hours are the ones I carry forward in my chest when the bigger hours empty me and I need what's left. Lavender hours, soft and gold, the kind of beauty that I'm only learning to behold. Not the fireworks, not the grand, just this, just here. Lavender hours turn the ordinary into something dear. I could catalog the world, but these are what I'd keep. Every lavender gold unfurled, every detail soft and deep. Lavender hours, stay a little while. Let me hold the small and beautiful inside your gentle style. The afternoon is aging and the evening's on its way, but these lavender hours made a poem out of today. Lavender and gold, the haze of the unhurried, the quiet hours that no one else could see. Lavender hours, this is more than I deserve, but I'll hold them inside forever, carefully.
No alarm, no hurry, nowhere I need to be. The ceiling fan is turning lazy circles over me. Got a window full of evening and a lamp burning low. Nothing here to prove tonight, nowhere left keep its noise and keep its speed. Right here between these quiet walls is everything I need. The bourbon in the glass is warm, the music's soft and slow, and I'm content to just let everything around me glow. Slow like honey, slow like jazz, slow like everything that ever really lasts. No need to be some other place or time. Everything worth having moves like this, slow like mine. The city used to call to me with all its bright demands, but I've learned to find the beauty in the simple, quiet plans. A good book on the armrest and a melody at ease, the kind of night that holds you like a long and gentle breeze. I used to think that still meant stopped, that quiet meant behind, but slow is just the language of a well-at-ease mind. The dog is sleeping soundly by the corner of the rug, the kind of peace that settles like a warm and steady hug. Slow like honey, slow like jazz, slow like everything that ever really lasts. No need to be some other place or time. Everything worth having moves like this, slow like mine. There's a rhythm in the unhurried, a grace in taking time, a sweetness in the unworried, when life moves on its own good line. Slow like honey, slow like jazz, slow like everything that ever really lasts. No need to be some other place or time. Everything worth having, darling, slow like mine. Slow like mine. Just breathe it in, just let it be. The honey's slow of you and me. No rush tonight, the night is long, and slow is where we both belong. The candles lean into the amber light, a slow blue evening settling into night. Your coat still warm across the kitchen chair, the smell of something good still in the air. These walls have held 1,000 gentle hours, the windowsill adorned with fading flowers, and everything is soft the way it should, when ordinary living feels this good. Blue velvet
gentle heartbeat, keeping perfect rhyme. No rushing, no racing, just the slow and sweet blue velvet evening. Let the world retreat. The record turns its old familiar song, the kind that makes you feel you still belong. A cup between your hands still holding heat, the kind of night that makes the day complete. You don't need much when everything is still. The quiet is a gift, not just a love. And somewhere in the middle of this piece, you find the kind of rest that brings release. Blue velvet evening, come and take your time. Every gentle heartbeat, keeping perfect rhyme. No rushing, no racing, just the slow and sweet blue velvet evening. Let the world retreat. Some nights are made for nothing much at all, just watching shadows lengthen down the hall, and feeling in the deepest kind of way that you were always meant to find this day. Blue velvet evening, hold this moment close. The tender, quiet nights are what we need the most. No rushing, no racing, just the slow and sweet blue velvet evening. Let the world retreat. So let the blue roll in like silk and song. You've always known right here is where you belong. Blue velvet evening, stay a little while. Let this night remember how to make you smile. The rain came down so soft I barely heard it start. Just a whisper on the glass, a drumming in my heart. The tea went cold, I let it, didn't mind so much. There are moments that are perfect when you don't try hard to touch. The cat curled up beside me like she knew just what I need. A stillness in the kitchen like a freshly planted seed. And everything I worried through this long and winding week grew smaller in the presence of something like peace. Something like peace, something like grace, a quiet kind of beautiful I never tried to chase. It doesn't come with answers, just deciding where to stand. The book I read 3 times, the melody I hum, the way the afternoon light falls just before the sun is done. These details carry everything that loud days cannot hold. And in the ordinary, something sacred can unfold. Something like peace, something like grace, a quiet kind of beautiful I never tried to chase. It doesn't come with answers, doesn't come with plans. It just comes in softly, like the rain on window panes. Maybe peace was never lost, it was just beneath the cost of all the hurrying and haste, all the love I didn't taste. Something like peace, something so rare, a quiet in the center of the storm of everyday care. It doesn't ask for anything, it doesn't need a name. It just settles on my shoulders, and it feels like home again. Something like peace, I'll let you stay. Find me in the ordinary every day. The rain is soft, the light is kind, and something like peace is all I need to find. You've been carrying the weight since the morning bell. Every deadline, every doubt, every story you can't tell. But the day is done, the clock has stepped aside, and there is nothing left that needs to be denied. Lay the burden at the edge of this quiet room. Let the evening be a song and not a tune. No one needs your best right now, no one needs a thing. Just let yourself unhook your wings. Settle in, let the evening take you. Settle in, let the stillness make you whole. Every hour that you gave is not erased, but the night is yours to settle in and find your place. There's a grace in how the day consents to end, and how the light goes golden round the bend, and the stars come out not asking anything, just burning soft the way they always sing. You've been so good at holding yourself up, at drinking down the overflow cup, but the nighttime has no asking left in store. So settle in, you don't have to be more. Settle in, let the evening take you. Settle in, let the stillness make you whole. Every hour that you gave is not erased, but the night is yours to settle in and find your place. Close your eyes and let the room get still. You don't have to fix the world by sheer goodwill. This moment doesn't need your hands to hold. Just breathe and let the evening soft unfold. Settle in, let the music stay with you. Settle in, let the quiet carry you through. Every thread you wove today is real and true, but tonight is just for you. So settle in and just be you. Settle in, settle down, settle here. The evening holds your weight and keeps you near. The world will wait, it always does. Tonight belongs to you, just as it was.
There are rooms inside a person only they can see, where the fears are kept in order and the memories run free, where the hopes you couldn't say out loud wait patient by the wall, and the versions of yourself you lost are walking down the hall. I've been cleaning out those rooms since I can't say when, holding on to what still matters, letting go again. Some days it's slow, some days it aches, some days it's just a sigh, but I keep returning to those rooms beneath the winter sky. Rooms we keep, rooms we tend, rooms where some things break and some things mend. You may never see inside the ones I hold, but they're the rooms where I am brave, where I am whole. There's a strength that no one cheers for, that no one films or sees, that lives between the morning and the bedtime on its knees. The quiet kind of courage in just showing up again when the road is worn familiar, but the heart is strange. And then some days you do it beautifully, some days you barely breathe, some days the rooms feel crowded with the things you can't release. but you turn the light on anyway and dust the window clear, because the rooms you keep are sacred and they bring you back to here. Rooms we keep, rooms we tend, rooms where some things break and some things mend. You may never see inside the ones I hold, but they're the rooms where I am brave, where I am whole. Nobody sees the daily upkeep, nobody knows the cost. Nobody sees what we sweep from what was almost lost. Rooms we keep, rooms of grace, the invisible and private inner space. And though no one will ever know the quiet war, the rooms you tend in darkness make you more. So keep your rooms, keep them kind, keep the sacred, keep the shrine of everything that holds you to this earth. The rooms you keep define your worth.
The rain has come to trace its quiet patterns on the pane, and I'm not sad the way I used to be about the rain. There's something in the sound of it that softens everything, a silver kind of silence that lets the whole world breathe. I pour another cup and let the steam curl in the air. The city blurs to watercolor, beautiful and bare. And I don't need an answer for the gray above the hill. Some days the rain is just the rain, and all of it is still. Rain on glass, soft and slow, drawing all the lines that only rainy evenings know. I used to fight the weather of my heart, now I let it fall. Rain on glass, this is where I start. There's a difference between sadness and a beautiful ache, the kind that makes you wiser for the feeling that you take. The rain reminds me gently I'm not meant to be the sun, that even cloudy, even gray, I'm living and I'm done with needing every moment to be bright and tightly held. I've learned that some of what I love is in the deeply felt, and watching rain streak silver down the window without end feels like reading something true drawing all the lines that only rainy evenings know. I used to fight the weather of my heart. Now I let it fall, rain on glass. This is where I start. Not every feeling needs to be undone. Not every gray belongs below the sun. Some of the most beautiful things I know are all the quiet things that rain and windows show. Rain on glass, silver and true, drawing me a map of all the things I'm coming through. I used to run from what I couldn't name. Now I sit beside the glass and love the rain the same. Let it fall, let it run, let the rain do what the rain has always done. I'm not afraid of weather anymore. Rain on glass is something worth staying home for.
There was a season when I couldn't see the other side, when the bed felt like a harbor where I only chose to hide, when the days were short and narrow and the nights too long to hold, and the warmth inside it quieted beneath the winter's cold. But I made it through the tunnel, though I cannot tell you how. The way the healing happens isn't something you avow. It happens in the margins of the ordinary day, until one morning you wake up and you are somehow okay. Still here, still breathing in the light, still here after all the hard and heavy nights. Not perfect, not unscathed, but something more, I'm real. Still here, and slowly, softly learning how to feel. I lost a few things in the passage. I won't say I did not. Some dreams I had to fold away and put inside a box, but something else was gathered in the letting go of things, a quieter kind of knowing that the gentler season brings. I don't talk about it often,
It belongs behind my chest. But every now and then the gratitude climbs up from all the rest. For Tuesday mornings, coffee steam, for traffic, for the noise, for the ordinary everything, for all of life's small joys. Still here, still breathing in the light. Still here, after all the hard and heavy nights. Not perfect, not unscathed, but something more. I'm real, still here, and slowly, softly learning how to feel. You never know how strong the quiet is until you need it most. You never know how much a person gives until the time is close. Still here, still choosing every day. Still here, and finding new and different ways. The healing isn't linear, the road is long and real, but still here, and slowly I am learning how to feel. So if you're in the tunnel, hear me well. You don't have to see the other end to tell that on the other side there's something warm and true. And the still here is already growing inside of you.
They say the music lives between the notes themselves, and all the space that no one plays, the quiet on the shelves. And I've been learning lately how to live inside the rest, how to let the silence be a kind of second breath, the pause before the melody arrives again. That's where something sacred lives, a trembling, quiet zen. And I've been chasing sound so long I forgot how to be still. But between the notes is where I'm finding peace at will. Between the notes, between the silence and the song, between the in and out of breath is where I most belong. The space between the words you say, the light between the bars, between the notes is where I finally see the stars. I used to fill the quiet because the quiet scared me some. Kept the music loud, kept moving, kept the engine run. But the day I let the silence in and didn't fill the space. I found the thing I'd searched for in 1,000 other places. There's a kind of rest that doesn't mean you've stopped to care. It means you've gone so deep the surface isn't even there. And below the noise, below the motion and the stress, is a note no instrument can play, but you can feel it nonetheless. Between the notes, between the silence and the song, between the in and out of breath, is where I most belong. The space between the words you say, the light between the bars, between the notes is where I finally see the stars. Let the room go quiet, let the beat release, let the music riot, find its own deep peace. Between the notes, between the quiet and the known, between the melody and rest is where I'm most at home. No chasing and no rushing, just the space that music gives. Between the notes is finally, fully where I live. Between the notes, so soft, so still, so true. Between the notes is where I find my way back to you. The music knows exactly what it's doing, just like me. Between the notes is where I breathe and I am free.
I'm not the rushing kind anymore. I learned that slowly. The wave that breaks the hardest is the first wave to leave lonely. And I've been watching how the gentler water moves the stone, not with force, but with the patience of the long way home. You don't have to tear the whole horizon to get through. The river doesn't argue with the rock, it just moves through. And I'm applying that philosophy to all the days ahead. Not charging at the morning, but arriving soft instead. A gentler tide, a quieter wave. Not every storm needs fighting, some need weathering through the gray. A gentler tide to carry me along, not the crashing kind of wave, but steady, deep and long. I used to think that progress meant the loudest kind of move, that you had to break through something loud to find your groove.
But I've been learning that the progress that will last is the kind you barely feel until you've long since left the past. A gentler tide in how I talk to my own mind. Not the critic in the corner, but the company that's kind. And slowly every day I'm letting something old recede. The gentler tide is bringing me exactly what I need. A gentler tide, a quieter way. Not every storm needs fighting, some need weathering through the gray. A gentler tide to carry me along. Not the crashing kind of wave, but steady, deep and long. Go easy on the road ahead. Go easy on yourself instead. The gentler way is still a way, and the gentler tide still makes the day. A gentler tide, the long and quiet shore. I'm not the person that I was. I'm learning to be more. Not more in volume, more in depth, more in what I hold. A gentler tide is how I find the story to be told. The tide goes out and then it comes back in. The gentler motion always will begin. Go soft, go steady, go the way that's true. A gentler tide is making something new of you. Not pretending everything is beautiful and clean. I know the weight of all the things that live between. The wanting and the having, all the reaching in the air. I know the way that hope can sit beside despair. But I have made a practice of the choosing in between, of finding what is golden even when it's mixed with gray. Not the pretending kind of light, not wishful or naive, but the earned and honest brightness that I choose to believe. Hold what's light without letting go of truth. Hold the hope without pretending what you're going through. Both things live together, and they always will. Hold what's light and hold it steady, hold it still. There's a version of resilience I couldn't understand, that wasn't about the fighting, wasn't about a plan. It was about the willingness to say I'm hurting and I'm here, and still I'm gonna choose the door that's lit with sun.
Because denying what is heavy doesn't make the heavy less, and forcing a performance of the joy isn't happiness. But sitting with the honest and then choosing to stand up is how you hold the light and still acknowledge the dark cup. Hold what's light without letting go of truth. Hold the hope without pretending what you're going through. Both things live together, and they always will. Hold what's light and hold it steady, hold it still. You don't have to choose between the honest and the bright. They're not opposites, they're partners in the night. Let yourself feel everything and then let yourself choose light again. And then again. Hold what's light, it's not a lie. It's the complex art of living open-eyed. Both the pain and beauty, both are where you've been. Hold what's light, the whole of you held close within. Hold the light, hold it close to your chest. You've done the honest work, now let yourself rest. Both the shadow and the sun know your name, and holding light while knowing dark is how you stay the same.
I didn't take the road they all expected me to find. I took the one that wandered and the one that took its time. And for a while I thought the long way round was just a loss, but something in the detour taught me more than any shortcuts cost. I've sat beside the roadside when I thought I'd lost my way. I've wondered at the map lines in the middle of the gray. And every side road, every wrong turn, every long delay was teaching me a language that the fast road couldn't say. The long way home has more to offer than you know. The long way lets the roots grow deep before the flowers show. Don't apologize for every detour, every bend. The long way home is still a road, it still leads to the end. There are people in my story I would not have met head on if I'd taken the straight highway that the simple path moves on. The breakdowns and the back roads led me into rooms where the most unexpected graces were already in bloom. And I'm a richer person for the circling I've done, not in spite of every wrong turn, but because of every one.
map they gave me wasn't wrong. The road just held more grace, and the long way home eventually returned me to my place. The long way home has more to offer than you know. The long way lets the roots grow deep before the flowers show. Don't apologize for every detour, every bend. The long way home is still a road, it still leads to the end. Every soul that's found its way has taken winding roads. Not every season has a straight, not every walk a code. The long way home, I wouldn't trade it back for all the shortcuts and the cleaner, easier track. Because who I am today was made along that road, and the long way home delivered me exactly what I'm owed. Keep walking, keep the long road in your heart. Sometimes the scenic route is where the meaning starts. The long way home, don't be ashamed of where you've been. The long way home is how you grow from what you see. It would have been so easy to grow hard, the way some people do, to let the disappointment make a stranger out of you. The world can be a sandpaper that wears the softness thin, and you can let it harden you or find the grace within. I've known the temptation of the bitterness that waits at the corner of the heartbreak and the slowly closing gates. But every time I've turned away from what the hardness gives, I've chosen something harder. Still the grace in how I live, grace in the quiet, grace in the heart, grace in the way you tend the still, unhealing scar. Not the easy kind of grace that needs no fight, grace in the quiet, choosing soft when soft isn't light. I've been kind to people who did not repay the cost. I've been patient with the ones who didn't see what they had lost. And there are days I've questioned if the softness is a strength or just a wound I've dressed in something prettier at length. But I've come back to this: the gentleness is not a weakness of the will. It's the hardest thing to hold on to when life is testing still. The kindness that survives the fire is the truest kind
keep on choosing it. No matter what I face, grace in the quiet, grace in the heart, grace in the way you tend to still unhealing scar. Not the easy kind of grace that needs no fight. Grace in the quiet, choosing soft when soft isn't light. No, nobody crowns the gentle choice. Nobody lifts the quiet voice. But grace is not for audience, it's for the long and hard defense. Grace in the quiet, grace in the gray, grace in the gray, grace in the choosing every complicated day. And if no one ever sees the private battles fought, grace in the quiet is the truest thing I've got. Keep the grace, keep it warm, keep it burning through the storm. In the quiet moments no one sees, grace is what is making you at
There's a color in the sky just before the sun arrives, something darker than the night, something lighter than the rise. It's the place where night has said its final word, and the morning hasn't spoken yet, but it can be heard. I've been sitting here for hours with the window cracked a bit, letting the cooling air remind me I can let the night submit. And I've been whispering to everything that kept me here this long. We made it through the darkness now, it's almost morning song. Almost morning, almost there, just a little longer through the still and midnight air. The light is not a promise I'm inventing in my mind. Almost morning's coming, and it's leaving night behind. The birds begin their practice runs before the sky agrees, the smallest sounds returning through the trembling of the trees. And something in my chest begins to loosen at the seam, the almost morning doing what no evening could redeem. I don't know what the day will bring, I never truly do, but the fact that it is coming is a miracle I knew. And standing at the edge of it, with all the night behind, almost morning, what a beautiful and generous
find. Almost morning, almost there. Just a little longer through the still and midnight air. The light is not a promise I'm inventing in my mind. Almost morning's coming, and it's leaving night behind. You held through the darkest part. You kept the light inside your heart, and now the sky is lightning, the whole world gently brightening. Almost morning, this is yours. You carried every heavy thing across those midnight floors. The sun coming over, warming everything inside. Almost morning, and you stayed all through the night. Here it comes, so soft and slow. The almost morning glow. You made it through now. Let the dawn begin. Almost morning is the door that lets the new day in. Been impatient with the seed I planted in the spring, wondering why the ground gives nothing, wondering everything. But the farmer doesn't dig to check the root at every turn. She trusts the underground to hold the thing she's waiting to discern. And I've been trying to translate that patience to my life, to stop expecting buds in every season of the strife. Because the slow is not a failure, and the quiet is not a lack. The trust the slow requires is the very thing I need back. Trust the slow, trust the ground, trust the things that grow without a single sound. The roots go deeper than the eye can ever see. Trust the slow, the bloom will come when it is meant to be. I've compared my chapter 2 to someone else's 9, and felt the weight of distance, like I was so far behind. But every story has its pace, and every life its time, and the comparison is theft from things that only bloom in mind. The healing happens slowly, and the learning
to be. Not behind, not left, not lost in the in-between, just growing in the cleft of becoming what you mean. Trust the slow, trust your life, trust the blooming that is happening inside. The slow is not the enemy of where you want to go. Trust the slow, the whole of you is starting now to show. The seeds you planted, they remember you. The slow is working, even when it's through. Trust the ground, trust the time, trust the turn, trust the slow. It's giving you everything you've earned.
I used to think that warmth was something weather brought inside, a matter of the season, of the temperature and tide. But I've been learning that the warmth I carry is my own, that it lives inside me wherever I have gone. The people that I love have taught me something of the art of being present as a fire, of carrying the heart, not burning bright at others to demand that they admire, but being quietly, consistently, the steady warming fire. Where the warmth goes, I'll follow easy. Where the warmth goes, the world's not so freezing. I've got it here inside this chest of mine. Where the warmth goes, the warmth is doing fine. There's a man I know who barely speaks, but fills up every room, not with volume, but with something like a fire in the gloom. And a woman who can sit in silence and still make you feel at home. That quiet, steady warmth that says you never are alone. I wanna be the kind of presence that the cold cannot undo, the kind that warms without demanding warmth returned from you, the inner lamp that keeps the chill of loneliness at bay. Where the warmth goes, that is where I wanna stay. Where the warmth goes, I'll follow easy. Where the warmth goes, the world's not so freezing. I've got it here inside this chest of mine. Where the warmth goes, the warmth is doing fine. Warmth is not a season. Warmth is not a gift from outside air. It's a quiet inner reason, and it's always, always there. Where
choose to let things go, and how I hold the people and the ordinary days. Where the warmth goes, I am warm in all the sweetest ways. So when the cold comes, and it will, and when the world goes quietly still, I'll remember where the warmth was always gonna be. Where the warmth goes, right here inside of me. There was a voice I listened to for longer than I should, that measured everything I did against the things I could, that said, be more, be better, be the version yet to come. And I forgot to live inside the person I'd become. I chased the edge of every mirror, searching for the flaw, and lost the person standing there I never thought to draw. Until one quiet morning, when the ordinary light said gently in its golden way, you're already alright. Enough the word I never thought to wear, enough the thing I always had but couldn't bear, enough to rest, enough to ask for less, enough the quiet revolution of enough. The standards that I set for me were never mine to start. They came from other voices that had found their way inside my heart. And some of them were teachers, and some just learned from fear, and some were just the echoes of a world I don't live in here. But here's where I'm doing the slow work of being mine, of learning that the measure of a life is not a line, of finding in the ordinary hours and the everyday that I have always been exactly what enough can say. Enough the word I never thought to wear, enough the thing I always had but couldn't bear, enough to rest, enough to ask for less, enough the quiet revolution of enough. It's not complacency, it's not a settling, it's choosing dignity over the unsettling, of never being satisfied with what is whole and real. It's the practice of the inside, of learning how to feel enough. I'm not the smallest or the most enough. I'm not the loudest, but I'm close to everything a person is and will continue to become.
enough already, quietly enough. You're enough for the room you're standing in, enough for the love you've let come in, enough for today and the ones to follow through. You've always been enough. You're only now believing that it's true.
I heard the first bird singing when the dark was almost done. A single note of bravery before the rising sun. And I thought, how does it know the light is coming back again? After all that quiet darkness, how does it begin? There must be something in the blood that knows the turn of night, some deep and ancient knowledge that the darkness breaks to light. And I have that in me too, though I've not always known it well. The first light finds me every time, no matter what befell. First light coming over the hill. First light, everything is still, but the stillness holds a promise of the day that's yet to come. First light, the dark is done. The dark is finally done. I've watched the sun rise from some very different states of mind, from peaceful and from broken, from resigned and then aligned. But the light has never asked me to be ready or be whole. It comes regardless, indiscriminate upon the waiting soul. And that's the gift of morning that I've carried in my chest, that the day begins for everyone, the weary and the blessed. That no matter what the night held, when the first light starts its turn, the world begins again, and so do I, and I return. First light coming over the hill. First light, everything is still, but the stillness holds a promise of the day that's yet to come. First light, the dark is done. The dark is finally done. Every morning is an opening, every dawn a door. Every first light is an offering of something more. First light, painting everything gold. First light, younger than the stories that we've told. The day is new, and you are new. Be easy on the start. First light, and here you are, with morning and the first light says, you will not be the same.
Pour me one last glass before the evening steps aside, and let me hold the weight of it like one last gentle tide. The ice is melted, the candle's burning low, and everything we said tonight has nowhere else to go. There's a grace in how the evening takes its bow, and how it doesn't beg to stay, but simply tells us now. And I've been thinking of the many rooms this life has given me, each one a different lesson, each one a different key. One last glass to the night we had, to the good and the bittersweet, and all of what was sad. One last glass to the room and to the chair, and to the quiet miracle of simply being there. Think of all the people I have sat beside in time, and all the late night candle-low. One more glass sublime. Some are far and some are gone, and some have found their road, but everyone who sat with me was given what they're owed. Maybe this is all there is, a warm room, a slow song, a night that doesn't need to be dramatic or too long. Just the ordinary beautiful, the honest and the real, and one last glass to honor all the things we've had to feel. One last glass to the night we had, to the good and the bittersweet, and all of what was sad. One last glass to the room and to the chair, and to the quiet miracle of simply being there. Beautiful thing must say goodnight, but I am grateful for each glass and song, for every room I've loved and still belonged. One last glass to the years and to the days, one last glass to the winding and the before we rest, before we sleep. Good night, good night. The evening takes its leave, with all the grace that only endings can achieve. tip this last glass gently to the room and carry this night softly to tomorrow's bloom. The playlist ends, but you don't have to leave the feeling behind. Keep the music where the music goes, the quiet in your mind. Every note tonight was meant for you, exactly where you are. In the living room, the late night bed, beneath the same old star. This night was yours to own in full, whatever brought you here. The sadness or the searching or the need to just draw near to something soft and warm and true in all the noise of days. Good night, good soul. You've always had your own beautiful ways. Good night, good soul. Rest easy now. You've done enough. You don't need to remember how the music played its final note, but something carries on. Good night, good soul. The warmth you gathered isn't gone. I hope you found a moment that belonged to only you. A breath between the measures where the ordinary grew into something that you'll carry past the last note of the night. A quiet ember in your chest that keeps the feeling right, because that's what music does when it is honest and it's true. It finds the thing you'd nearly lost and gives it back to you. And I am glad the evening held whatever you had need. Good night, good soul. Go gently, you are whole. Go plant your seed. Good night, good soul. Rest easy now. You've done enough. You don't need to remember how the music played its final note, but something carries on. Good night, good soul. The warmth you gathered isn't gone. Take the melody to bed. Keep the chord inside your head. The music knows you listened well, and what you heard I hope you'll tell. Good night, good soul. The night is through. All the music in this playlist was for you. You are warm, you are whole, you are real, you are here. Good night, good soul. Good night, my dear. Good night, good night. Let the quiet keep you right. The music's done. The room grows still. Good night, good soul. soul. Be